escuchemos la historia una vez más. Mentira, me voy a saltear todo. Pero para que quede kawaii de Sune decir eso. Sí, está perfecto. Bueno, nos queda este logro solamente, gente. Pasarnos el juego en esta dificultad, que es la más difícil. Y ya está. Pasarnos la historia en este modo. No sé qué cambiará. Me alegro de verte con vida, vaquero. Te crees lo bastante bueno como para enfrentarte al oeste real. Eres un pistolero de verdad, capaz de luchar sin todos esos artilugios modernos como el HUD y el punto de mira, pues adelante. Ah, su puta madre. Bueno, a ver, en eso no hay tanto problema porque apunto así. Bueno. Ay, se apreció mi cámara. La madre. El problema es que no voy a saber nunca cuántas balas tengo. ¿Sí? A ver, voy a arreglar la cámara. Vamos a tomar. Pero bueno, básicamente eso. En este modo no tenemos HUD, o sea, no vamos a saber nunca cuándo tenemos la concentración. Ni cuántas balas tenemos y todas esas cosas. Y aparte, un poquito más de dificultad y un poquito más de dificultad agregada porque estoy jugando en una partida que hay más cosas. Ah, pero sí ok, quería comprobar eso, si me decía por lo menos dónde ir. Pero bueno, ya me pasé el juego tantas veces que debería acordarme. Ok. Nuevo nivel al pedo, ¿no? Ah, no. Ok. Le tengo un poquito de miedo a los... ¿Cómo serán los duelos en este modo de juego? Pero bueno. Billy the Kid. Ah, me cago en la cámara. Uy, le van a dar a Charlie ahora. Lo dieron a chorro. Me cago en el... Ok. Ahora arreglé la cámara por enésima vez. Okay. Ahora me la acaban de nuevo, no sé qué le pasa. Ahorita tantito. A ver cómo son los duelos. Aunque no me marca cuánto estoy entrando ni nada de eso. Bueno, acá puedo ganar de manera honorable y no pasa nada. Pero bueno. Bueno, igual como nos sacamos el logro de los duelos. Sacamos el logro de los duelos y aprendimos bastante a hacerlos, así que no va a ser ningún problema eso. It's not Billy. Exacto. ¿Cómo fue el de mango? Qué larga esta escena. Qué loco. La escopeta de Bob Ollinger. Okay. Vamos pirrán, vamos pirrán. Bro. Ahora no te marca de dónde te están disparando. Todo. Cuando veces vamos a morir. ¿Hoy? Es más difícil con pistola doble porque por lo menos con la simple tener la mirilla, pero con esta no. Okay. Ay, porra. Okay.
shot Deputy Bell?
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob. I said, I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Now
Nie wiem, żart, kopyta, sorry, ile to kopyta, bro.
we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself. I killed him in a fair fight.
Buenísima.
Everybody saw I had no damn choice.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico.
Episodio 3.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Wright.
Oh,
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man. Over there! There! You got out!
Sorry.
Later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them, or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. Appearing great numbers from above and rained down.
Sorry.
Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys? Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me, Apaches. I was at a pitch. I was still pretty great. But all the good was an incredible situation. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see. Damn wrong.
Wait.
I was running out of ammo. My relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, and my vengeful fury.
shoot that running son of a bitch!
Fuck. ¿De dónde? Mierda. Esta emboscada van a ser complicado. Ok, tengo que salir. No me matan, Voy a subir a la voz. La voy a bajar porque la verdad que es bastante denso. Voy a subir un poquito más.
Pat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know. And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunted. Time. All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them. That's right, Jack. I was done running.
Quiero mi pistola de morfín.
The old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir. It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Ok. El viejo Clanton.
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, "Clanton, I'm coming for you!" A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come. But I knew I could not let that deter me. Not if I was to find and kill Ringo. I needed to get that old man off that gun. Do I gotta reload again?
¿Dónde está? Allá.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me.
Facilito.
One of the cowboys made it out of there
Tengo
alive
3 cositos
and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it
de
wasn't a
pelo.
Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps, and that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary
Ok, Corral.
gunfight at the OK Corral.
Va, modo speedrun, vamos bastante rápido. Y llega el momento de esta pelea. La última pantalla de la fantasmita, eso va a ser re complicadito. Pero bueno.
A few weeks after
Right.
that dust up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo.
Ahí de marfil.
I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill, and they were loaded for bear.
Oh, nice.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bright?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. First, I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious.
Herb's coming!
Get ready, boys. Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise, and after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge. So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil. Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Duro.
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. That's how the Cowboys identified each other, and I was beginning to wish I had one myself. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed, and that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
God.
That Lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack. Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
Perra. de perra.
Everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
¿Fuera? Un corre camino.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Creo que un trago antes de disparar. Curly Bill.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
No estoy viendo. Facilito.
Brocious gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend
Facilito
ain't
por
always
ahora, ¿eh?
true. Doc Holliday. I was paid a healthy bounty
Dejo esta
for
cinemática, me voy a
Ringo and
preparar
Curly
algo.
Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Ok.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plumber looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plumber rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him.
El revólver de marfil está god. Recarga rapidísimo.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be?
As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men. Samuel Colt made them equal. I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable.
Sorda.
Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Ordinary citizens who lived a double life. Stealing and thieving, murdering their neighbors. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll.
Ah, fuck.
A hell of a lot.
Frances.
Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. Dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. They must have thought I was touched, or had some kind of death wish, seeing as there were barrels of gunpowder everywhere. One stray bullet, one stray spark, and I'd be blown to hell and gone. Did I have any second thoughts about what I was doing? I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that
Momento
mine,
mina.
but once I made my decision,
Momento
I knew there was
explosiones.
no turning back.
Si algo nos
So
sirvió el
my
modo
first
arca
thought
es
was to enter the nearest mine portal.
prácticamente aprender el juego de memoria.
Made sense.
Y acá,
It was the
no es
quickest
lo
way
mismo.
in, but that also made it more dangerous.
Sí.
But there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way. Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. And that confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion. Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked.
Guarancias.
I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, a body has to know what
No lo
it's
puedo hacer
shooting.
como en el modo arcade.
All it takes is one tiny
A
spark,
menos que
and boom.
tire una dinamita.
There he is!
Ah, no me deja.
As a boy,
perro.
I always loved the 4th of July.
Qué perros.
Thank you! You ain't beating me.
Es verdad.
Take that asshole out! You'll die for this!
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad-blasted tube.
Pium.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane.
Facilito.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it. Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution, because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, I needed to make a leap of faith. I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route. Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Henry Plummer. Lo hacemos R cada una. Tiene un poquito de varias fases.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
No, le quedaba dos balas. Puta. Ah, bastante me pasa igual. Fuck.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their
Anda,
weight in
yo me la
gold.
pasé, boludo.
And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
¿Qué onda, Pi? ¿Cómo estás? Hoy modo speedrun, boludo. No es tan difícil la dificultad,
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
No es tan complicada la dificultad. Lo único malo de la dificultad es que no puedo usar las dual, o sea, las puedo usar, pero como no hay HUD, o sea, no hay mira en el juego. En esta dificultad no hay mira. Es muy complicado apuntar con las
I
dual.
dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
Sobre todo.
I was there with the intention of
No hay
finding
mira,
that
boludo. No hay
bastard
mira, solamente puedo
Bob
apuntar
and
así
collecting
o
the
tirar a
bounty
ley.
on John Wesley.
I thought the Texas Rangers got hard.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was coldin' a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today.
Está pasando un rato antes de
Look
dormir.
around
¿Está
and
pasando?
imagine this
Sí.
place painted
Ah,
in
para
blood.
mañana.
Hardin was waiting for me, and
¿Ya la tenés toda lunga o te está costando?
wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men, fathers and
De
husbands,
taquito.
brothers and sons, men with families who cared about them.
No sabes ni
He
poner
was a
capa,
bona
boludo.
fide folk hero by
Así te
then,
crees
and had a master
hacedor
gang
de
of armed miscreants and other
de
assorted.
motes.
He and his
Supuestamente
men
sos el
set
rey de
up
la moto y no
camp
sabes
outside of
hacerte con
town,
capa.
and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Son of a
I had to
bitch.
spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friend. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the bull's head. Some were hightailing it into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcome presence.
940 motes. ¿Y cuánto te sabes? ¿Cuántos motes escribís de memoria? Correo.
The boys know we got another load, dog.
I wondered if Bob was among them.
Yo no me sé, yo me sé muy poco. Creo que los pepos sí.
And I
Lo sé
steeled
casi todo.
myself for the fight ahead.
No, casi todos no,
For
ni
as
en
good
pedo,
as
pero
I
la mayoría.
was,
Los
deep
clásicos.
down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better.
Pero
Before I could
después,
test my mettle against Hardin, however, I would first need to dispatch his cadre.
los emotes que tengo en el canal que pusiste no sé ni cuáles son, boludo. Qué horrible que es apuntar con las
Most
dual.
of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Sordo. Chuparla
I
toda, ¿no?
think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Bueno, tengo algunos que son palabras nomás. Sí. Acá literalmente casi no se podía escribir ya, boludo. Mirá, escribiste una oración y mirá la cantidad de modos que salieron, boludo.
Were among the dead. But that was short-lived. As a moment later, I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
El otro día Tuvimos el primer baneado del canal. Literalmente el otro día tuvimos el primer baneado del canal. No tenía baneado todavía. No había ni un baneado. Pero ya tenemos el primero. Un chavo que pasaba Pino y justo Alejandro me estaba contando que le robaron. Cuando le robaron el otro día.
Maybe that was fear.
Me estaba contando y empezó a tirar comentarios ahí. ¿Qué vivís en Argentina? ¿Cómo te van a robar? Y como chiste ahí muy mal humor. Como muy fuera de lugar. Y agarré y le dije a Alejandro que lo banee. Pero me entró bien el chabón saludando todo de normal.
That man was faster than grease lightning. But being an
Y nada, le dije que lo
idiot
baneé.
was, he
Creo que fue el
didn't
primero.
count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Pero empezó a tirar comentarios
So
re
he
de mierda,
didn't
boludo.
die?
No,
Le
I
dije, a mí
sent
me
him to
pueden
prison.
insultar todo lo que quieran. A mí la
Years
verdad me
later,
ayuda. O sea,
after he was free, some restless
salvando
Avenger
los
took his
momentos, ¿no? O
life.
sea, me puede
Shot him
decir,
in the
che,
back
Reiki,
with a
sos un hijo de
saloon
puta
just
así
like this one.
de Chile.
Anybody up
Me
for
cago de
another
risa.
beer?
No me importa.
Ben?
Pero si guardaron uno de ustedes, sí. Baneo de una.
Thank you, darling.
De hecho, o sea,
Yeah, so
los que tienen modo, bueno, vos no tenés modo por el meme, pero literalmente Lázaro y Alejandra, si ellos banean, o Ali o quien sea, los que tienen mod, si banean, yo voy a suponer que es por algo y no voy a sacar el ban.
a bounty was put on Grey Wolf's head. And that's why I had to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so
Es
high
bastante
they
gracioso,
tickled
boludo.
another region
Igual hace
of
rato, uno de estos días te voy a sentar, te lo prometo. Pero hace rato no te están tirando timeout, boludo.
Grey
¿Hiciste
Wolf
feliz
was a
por eso?
Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people.
Lobo.
The U.S. Army
¿Se
had
podrá matar al
attacked
lobo?
his tribe during his daughter's sacred
¿Se spameo?
sunrise ceremony,
Ah, no se puede.
and the slaughter was unspeakable. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf
Por
would be
cierto,
watching my every move.
viste que estábamos hablando hoy del Shadow,
Apache warriors who wanted
que no me lo iban a
retribution
reembolsar.
and were more than
Dije,
willing
bueno,
to
me chupa
die
3 pingos.
for him.
Que te dije que si me lo reembolsaba me compraba el Spyro. Sí. Lo re. Sordo.
They saw me before I saw them.
Ya está, ya terminan las ofertas y ya está. Boludo. ¿Cómo hace para personalizar también tu perfil de Steam, boludo? Está bonito.
And it crossed my mind
No sabía que
that
podías
maybe
poner
this
un GIF.
wasn't
Yo
such
tengo
a
que
good
personalizarlo
idea.
mejor, ¿no?
But now that the shooting has started,
Ah,
there was no backing down.
igual eso es de un juego, ¿no? El que vos tenés puesto. ¿Qué onda el Spyro? ¿Está bueno, boludo? Yo me lo jugué para... Yo me lo compré para jugarlo de chill. Para tener un juego de chill ahí.
Before I saw them.
Y lo voy a terminar platinando, obviamente, ¿no? Tiene como más de 100 logros, boludo. Tengo que cambiar de arma. Sí. Ah, sí, creo que compré algo el otro día con esos puntos. Creo que compré algo. Compré como un fondo.
It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas. And that's why they had retreated. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Boludo, ¿me puedo hacer un speedrun de este juego? Ahora voy a ver cuánto. No debo tener muchos puntos.
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout.
¿Se murió?
A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
That's how you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Juntar gemas para poder. ¿Qué me está diciendo, pendejo? Creo que sí, boludo. Creo que ya había visto que sí. Y vale bastante de chill. Aparte de... Nunca jugué Spyro en Play 1.
See, back then,
Así que le voy a dar
I
una
had a
chance.
stubborn streak a mile wide. I wasn't about to back down.
Con plataforma a mano viene mal.
It's like pitch black in there.
Actually, it was pretty well lit as they had torches on the walls.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian War.
¿En serio?
They thought it was
ver.
all
Igual viste los logros que tiene, boludo. O sea, no los tipos, pero... Tiene 105 logros, boludo. O la trilogía, pero por ejemplo el Crash, ¿cuánto tenía? Por si mi primer jefe de Crash me mató como 20 veces. El que no sabía qué hacerle. El que tiene como un palo y gira. El lindo. ¡Ah! Papu Papu. 74. Papu Papu, güey. Este. El que pega así. Y que va girando. Y cuando te diste cuenta de cómo matarlo dijiste, ah, sí, imbécil. ¿Dónde era la tienda de los puntos? A ver cuántos puntos. Ah, va a tener muchos puntos. 777 como Vegeta. Tengo re poquito, boludo. Es de re bueno. No me puedo comprar ni un marquito, boludo. Qué pobreza. No puedo comprar nada, boludo. Es verdad, boludo. Ni siquiera uno con el... Ah, boludo, es asqueroso. Mirá, boludo, qué buen marco. Pero bueno. Yo me compré esto, boludo. Me lo compré porque no sabía qué era. El fondo este, y ni se ve, boludo. Ni se ve. Ni se ve un fondo del coso. Del Cuphead.
The cave was haunted with dead.
Me lo compré
Indian
re feliz y ni
ghosts.
se ve, boludo.
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones
No.
than the dead ones.
Me equivoqué, botón. Sí, lo vi, lo vi. A ver. Michis. Aguante los michis, boludo. Los michis son amor. Yo tengo a mi hijo por acá.
What do you know
No sé
so
si está.
much about engines?
A few years back, I was married to two mescalero women.
At the same
Pasa que la
time.
tenés que educar demasiado bien. Por
They were
ejemplo,
sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the mescaleros.
por
So
ejemplo
what
mi
happened?
gato
Well, I had to get out of there.
de chiquito
Those
le
girls
enseñamos
never
y
shut up.
caga afuera, por
Both of
ejemplo.
them nagging at me all the time.
Por eso
Drove me
siempre
half
tengo la
crazy.
ventana, por eso mi habitación hace
Haven't seen
menos
them
50
since.
grados todos los
No, I
días.
mean, what happened
Porque
with Grey Wolf?
la
Oh,
ventana de mi
well,
habitación siempre está abierta para
I
que él
pursued
salga y
him
entre.
into the cave of
Que va a cagar
death.
afuera y todo eso. Y... Pero ahora la Merlina, no.
Came upon this flooded grotto.
Merlina la nueva
That's when I
gatita.
saw him.
La
He came to
rescatamos.
me unarmed and
Cuando la
unafraid.
trajimos
His
estaba toda hecha
voice
mierda y ahora
echoed in the
es
shadows.
imparable. Y bueno,
And I
Merlina
sensed he meant me no
le
harm.
tengo que poner las
You
piedritas, boludo.
carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
Pasa que
The sound
mi
of his
gato
voice put some
nació
kind of
acá en casa.
ancient
O sea,
Indian spell
nosotros
on
le
me.
llamamos a la gata. La gata tuvo hijos. Y uno de
As
los
his
hijos fue
story
él.
unfolded in my mind.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow. I had no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the
Merlina
song
dirá
of the
miércoles.
dead
¿What? ¿Por qué?
summons the spirits.
Le pusimos Merlina porque... Por mi primita, porque la gatita de mi primita en realidad. Pero bueno, está todo el día acá en casa.
And indeed, his warriors
Y como ella es
surrounded
fan
me
de
and
Merlina, le
attacked me
pusimos
like
Merlina.
hungry Wolverine. They couldn't stop me though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk.
Merlina la de los locos Adam, boludo. La hija de los Adam.
I swear I couldn't see
La emo.
any way out of this trap. But suddenly one just appeared.
Ah,
Kinda
mira, de
like
hecho
a
mi hijo
mirror.
está acá, oh. Porque tengo la estufa acá al lado. O sea, acá al lado mío. Tengo la estufa y él se acuesta ahí a dormir porque está la estufa. En España se le dice miércoles, what the fuck. Te voy a mostrar a mi hijo. Bueno, para empezar, ya está así, mira. Para empezar está todo el tiempo acá. A ver si... ¿Dónde está? ¿Cuál es mi pies? No, este es mi pies. O sea que está... Ahí está. Ahí está el gordo. Por eso yo cuando me siento no me puedo mover mucho en la silla. No me puedo mover mucho en la silla porque mirá, está literalmente acá, ¿ves? Al lado de la silla. Entonces yo me muevo, lo puedo aplastar. Ve, ahí está la estufa, yo pongo la estufita y él se acuesta ahí. Entonces si yo me muevo con la silla, mirá. No lo puedo mover porque está el gordo. Hola, Titi. Y yo le digo, vení, subite. Vení. Vení. No, pero soy más de macho. Y pero si es macho este boludo. Vení. No, está muy flaquito ahí. Aparte es el que siempre se sube al escritorio y hace macana. Agárrame esto.
I thought I would be lost in that damn cave forever.
¿Qué es ese mote, bro?
Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of a precipice, overlooking a thundering whitewater river. To get where I was going,
A veces me da
required
miedo,
several
boludo.
leaps of faith,
Ah, me caí.
but no way in hell I was turning back.
Y Merlina está por ahí. Otra vez lo mismo. Pero este cerdo siempre está acá, boludo. Siempre está acá. Y cuando apago la estufa busca... O se va a dormir con mi abuela, o con mi tío, o conmigo. Pero busco el lugar calentito. Pero mientras yo estoy haciendo stream está todo el tiempo ahí. Está todo el tiempo al lado mío. Por la estufa no, no porque me quiera.
Dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them. Well, more than that, anyway.
Sin apuntar, ¿para qué?
I had a steep climb up creek
¿Cómo?
ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat.
¿De dónde me
I
estaban?
was determined
Ah,
to
ya.
locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly
¿Cómo dijiste que
what the hell he
dijiste?
was trying to tell me.
Igual me gustó eso.
Wouldn't you know it? That crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trick?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it
Parece bastante rápido esto, ¿no?
All right, but I'm not gonna
¿Cuánto voy?
drag this out.
1 hora y 20 y ya voy por la mitad del
You
juego.
were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Es más, un poquito más.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them.
Qué bueno que soy, tu puta madre. Para los petas que juegan shooter en play, que literalmente les apuntan solo el juego. El manco apunta.
I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air.
Dale,
Never did find him.
suerte con el estudio. Y suerte mañana.
Thank you, darling.
Besitos.
It's interesting
Vale,
how
hoy
the
sale,
truth
sale.
can
En 1 hora ya tengo el platino. Más o menos. Así que si en 1 hora tengo el platino, quizás me ponga a jugar otra cosa. No sé qué voy a jugar. Tendría que haber instalado otra cosa. Bueno, tengo instalado el Bioshock, pero... Esta es la del banco, ¿no?
One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed
Sí,
out
esta es la del banco, esta está buena.
firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the dogs got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding and how he had no ambition. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property. The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity. But
O acá cuenta la
everybody
historia como 3
knows
veces.
they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently.
Para empezar era mediodía.
First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait for something.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting.
Rápido, 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 rápido.
A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
We've got company.
Heroic men like
That
him
silent scream?
did what other men
Son of a
couldn't or
bitch!
wouldn't to make
Son of
this
a
country
bitch.
free. Jim Boone, Davy Crockett, died defending the Alamo.
Ay, ¿no se murió?
What incarnation? Over there!
Fuck.
That silent scream.
What the hell? Slam! Came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name is Silas
Silas
Greaves.
Greaves.
And when the dust finally settled, he was the last.
Para
man
empezar era
standing.
la tarde, ahora.
Sorry, kid,
Te
but
cuento
that
como
just
tenés el
wasn't the way it happened.
Es el stream así.
It was early evening, not high noon. The Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Los hermanos Dalton.
I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something
Ahora
reckless.
que me están disparando, no dejan.
Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville. Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose it. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout at a time.
Did the Daltons pull up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons.
No.
And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, since those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer. but they always
Se
stood
viene la
together.
pelea contra el
They set a
Dalton.
trap to slow
¿El
me
menor o el
down and
mayor?
allow at least 2 of them to
Mayor,
escape.
creo.
The third brother stayed
El líder.
behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work. It was Emmett, the youngest.
Ahora el
He
menor.
decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silent Green. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Ah, me caí, soy imbécil. Pensé que me había matado. Él, no me caí yo, soy imbécil. No. Ha jugado. Fuck. A ver si que me trato. No.
It's all killing time.
Qué perro que es.
Tear you apart. Coward and a cheat. You are dead, Lotto. I'm gonna plant you where you stand.
Si no le doy ángulo.
Gonna send you to the bone orchard.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeeville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those...
Un segundo,
grit?
En esta partida vamos a tomar el final de venganza para terminarlo así. God. No, mejor la del otro. No, vamos al de perdonar. Vamos a agarrar el final. Al final buena
It
persona.
took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys would get away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Bury them in the street. Plant them where they stand.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone.
Ay, no lo veía. Estaba muriendo demasiado.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause. Under serious attack.
Son a papich.
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
¿Qué pasa si no me caigo?
But just ended up falling inside.
So,
Oh,
how
boy.
did you get out?
The barn
abierta la
doors was
puerta.
open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bush. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon, Steve?
Steve.
Steve!
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indios.
There were Indians.
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
La boca, perro. Esos escuderos primero. ¿Duro? ¿Cuál me está dando? ¿Sabes que me matan? Vale, salí. Ah, ok, un poder.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere,
No, no,
standing
no,
together against anyone
Casi.
who threatened them.
Está bien.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
Yes.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were
Ahora
waiting.
me duele.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
Ok, el prisionero.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out!
The Daltons had played me
Run,
like a
bitch.
fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn
Run,
payroll.
bitch.
They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. but finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? The largest one in the world.
We're talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed good. I don't think it will float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how did you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I
Claro,
admit
perros.
my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Esto va a estar complicado. Sí, Virita. Va a estar raro.
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side. They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day
30% de puntería.
and the tragic death.
¿Hay cinemática? Ok. Vayan.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
A saltar el tren.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
Salta el tren. Está bastante rapidito, creo que era. No me acuerdo. Si creo que me pasé estos días como 3 veces este juego. O sea, me acuerdo de todos los niveles, pero no me acuerdo si duraban mucho o no.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Sorda.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights, but I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway, so I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could. At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Uf, sí que lo vi a último momento.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
You mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Pam, pam, pam. Pues no, es mentira. Gran cuadrilla contra el grupo salvaje.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that?
Ah, fuck. Uy, ya me olvidé. Uy, ¿por dónde pita cero? Así imbécil.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Buenardo.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Ay, mío, no. No porque eras honrado, porque lo puedo hacer deshonradamente y no pasa nada. De hecho, nunca gané un duelo deshonrado todavía, así que vamos a hacerlo acá. Chuparlo. Ya, vamos a hacerlo honrado, vamos a hacerlo divertido.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up.
En esa época Bob Bryan ya había dejado atrás el crimen, dedicándose en cuerpo y alma a su negocio en Abilene, Kansas. Datas. Este es el de la dinamita.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he?
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense them close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts. And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Hey, you!
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Yes, there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there. had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but
No.
then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high.
Fuck.
So I shot the rope. Of
Sí,
course,
tenía
I
que
had
saltar
to
ahí.
tread
Lo quise hacer
carefully.
rápido.
Otherwise, I could, well, die.
¿En serio?
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. And actually, there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Ah, fuck. Va.
So I proceeded onward. I realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward. Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long, burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it.
Run!
The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment. Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly
Bro, se
exhausted and
resbaló.
dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore. I hope you understand how badly my adventure might have ended had I not been as careful as hell.
Se resbaló, bro. Chaval.
Kill that SOB!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Nuttier than a damn fruitcake.
No me jodas. ¿Qué? Qué malo.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
El hombre de la Gatling.
located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Fuck. Por apurado.
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. That's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
Cagaste, Kid Curry.
As fast as he was,
Ay. Al
I
final
was just a bit faster.
el platino de este juego, lo más complicado creo que es el arcade.
And as he lay
El
wounded,
modo
I
arcade, las 3
demanded to
estrellas del
know
modo
the
arcade creo que es lo
whereabouts
más
of Roscoe
complicado ahora.
Bob Bryant. He shouted at me.
Pero después
Is
los
that what
otros
this
logros
is
son
about?
bastante clean, la verdad.
Bob went with Butch's
Ahora,
son
el
to
de
South
recoger todas las
America.
pepitas es un poquito
You ain't
tedioso
never
porque son
finding
bastante
him.
perdibles, pero en general creo que el más complicado va a ser
Those
ese,
were his last words.
el que más me costó. Y que tampoco me costó tanto, pero sí me costó lo suyo.
So, Bob.
Jesse Jane.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this gem.
Now wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Oh, the James boys were experts at this.
El hombre que para un tren con la vista, algo así era, ¿no? Ah, con la mirada. El hombre que para un tren con la mirada. La leyenda dice que para un tren. Ah, que podía parar un tren con la mirada. Jesse James, el que jugaba en el Real Madrid, que hizo un golazo en
They
2014.
hopped a freight train.
Familiar de
There
Jesse
was
James.
a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger
Oui.
pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again, I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Ay, mi revólver de marfil. Cagó. Creo que es el arma más broken del juego.
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks and
Vamos a esperar
been
porque el imbécil vaya al
sitting
baño.
spill.
Right through there. Let me show you. Never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Star? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!" It's the damn Pinkertons! Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for
Ay,
somebody
ay, ay,
else,
ay.
aren't they?
Cerdo.
Why is that, I wonder?
Me gusta como me mete esta puerta más adelante. Strat de speedrunner, papá.
It was a rickety ride and quite precarious. I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward.
Espera la puta que me
It was
parió.
definitely safer on the inside of the train. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of it.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of it.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Pero corre, la concha de tu madre.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Lo pego. Pasa, ¿no? Ahora quedan algunos.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself. There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
Corre.
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn
Ah, qué boludo. Digo que tengo que esquivar ahí.
I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, man?
Creo que se ve la mano, bro.
Your past always catches up with you.
De mi personaje, what the fuck. Vamos mal,
Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first...
Sin perdón. Esta es la anteúltima, creo.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect
Creo que
place
este
to
es
hide out from the
el
authorities.
anteúltimo, si no me equivoco.
In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the Reds and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Engines?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
Hijo de perra, se me ve.
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Red Man. Like that time. Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I can still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul.
Ya está para el fusil, para esta fase.
You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Pum. ¿Puedo morir o qué? ¿Esto es más peligroso? Bueno, si se juntan todos, tengo que mover menos la cámara, la verdad.
So, did you ever find it? Who? The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben.
Ok.
You ever think
No hay balitas
about
por acá.
death?
Mr. Graves, are you all right?
Ooh, death.
Uy, Tomás.
Ooh, death.
No, para arriba. Siempre me va a hacer lo mismo.
Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see? With ice cold hands taking hold of me. Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or
Piedras.
hell. Oh, death, someone would pray. Could you wait to call me another day? Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over to
¿Sabes qué me dan?
another year?
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
Oh. Quiere full venganza el güey. No sé cuál final tomar. O sea, da igual, ¿no? Pero... Yo me gustan los dos finales.
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
Ah, ¿por qué saltó? Carro.
I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him. He was still intent on killing me.
Ah, porque me estaba equivocando.
He backed off again, looking for a better angle. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Graves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
The James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin. He was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite. On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
Es que es re larga hasta que salga la cinemática de egoísta. Oh, que lo tengo que hacer no, sí, imbécil. Parece muy gracioso. What? ¿Quién me mató?
Shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life. Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit.
Bueno, verá, flaco, rescatate.
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill. Determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again.
So, what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts. But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch.
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Sordos. Llevan fuerte, ¿eh? Ah, que salen más. Claro. Muertísimo. Ah, pensé que no salía, ¿no? Estúpido. Buen spot. Mira vos. Qué cerdo, se movió un pasito. Me la dio.
Eventually,
Okay.
it was just me and Reed. I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Y de pecho,
And repay
bebé.
him I did.
Aguantó el corazón, sin dudas.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but
Episodio final. Necesito ir al baño para disfrutar del platino.
"40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now." Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
Bonito perro.
For all you know, he could have
Este
been.
episodio va a llevar lo suyo igual, ¿eh?
That thought had indeed
Esto está
crossed my
complicadito.
mind.
Va, no sé, porque ahora con las
As did
habilidades.
others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I'd been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. Town was falling apart, just like me. But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around.
Bueno, total.
I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was onto them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
No tengo más balas, ¿eh? Fuck.
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling us.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack. Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy the Kid, William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, and there, even over there.
So I am right. You are titched in the head.
Mr. Graves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer, Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me, guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me. And in the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hart, just like I remembered him. Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. But no Ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Rochus, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
¿Dónde?
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Thought. Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh,
The Sundance Kid?
like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
¿Lo puto? No, volvió a joder a la inteligencia artificial, ya no te puedo creer. ¿Qué onda? A ver cómo estás. Sordo. ¿Qué onda? ¿Cómo te fue en el recital? Vi las historias. Estoy muerto. No.
Then I heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy.
No,
Calling me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
¿Le dicen Mosh allá? Terribles yankees. ¿Cómo van a decir es Mosh? No, Mosh. ¿Cuánto tocaron? ¿2 horitas? ¿Aprox? ¿Qué fuiste solo o con tu esposa? ¿O te tocó ir solito y solo? 3 horas. Fua. Terrible recital, boludo. 3 horas un montón.
Wasn't quite deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two look like they
Ah,
haven't
y
seen
ahora
each
te duele
other
todo
in
el
quite a
cuerpo.
while.
Te paso factura a ser un
Clearly,
viejo
they were
choto
no
ya.
longer amigos.
Me veo ahora que te digo. Ah, esa que estaban chupando pinardos.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
Olvídate, boludo. La vejez. A mí me va a pasar lo mismo. Yo el día siguiente a vos, después de ver a vos, voy a hacer un estropajo, boludo. Voy a estar así. No me despiertan. No me voy a poder ni mover, boludo.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Es precioso esto, cuando te metes un poco y estás en un punto y cuando te das cuenta decís, ¿dónde carajo estoy? Te voy a dejar que elijas al final. Perdón, pero sale el platino. Te voy a dejar que elijas al final. Ya, igual con Ghost, a ver, va a haber poco, pero no tan brutal, porque no es... Un par de canciones sí tiene movidas, pero en general no es tan para hacer poco.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
No puedo.
You never found
Solamente hay dos
Bob?
finales.
Bob. His old
Matar al güey
ain't
este,
even Silas Greaves.
matarlo o perdonarlo.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the
Está bien,
whole
guacho, la
time.
pasaste piola. Eso está
Oh,
bueno.
man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay.
El juego se resume en que este lo matan a los hermanos y está contando en el bar toda la historia, todo lo que nosotros jugamos es la historia que está contando este güey. Y está contando que se quiere vengar de un Top Bob. Entonces cuenta la historia, pero en realidad lo que está pasando es que está contando la historia para después revelar que Ben, el dueño de la cantina donde está contando la historia, es el verdadero Bob. Entonces tenemos que decidir si vengarse de todo por todo lo que hizo y completar, claro, al Bob. Todo el juego cuenta la historia de cómo fue persiguiendo a Bob y culmina en que en realidad Bob siempre estuvo al lado de él y que él ya sabía. Él ya sabía que este Ben era Bob. Entonces toda la historia llega a este punto. Al punto donde vuelve al presente y nosotros tenemos que elegir si vengarnos o rendirnos. ¿Le meto bala? Ha elegido el láser. Igual ya saqué los dos finales, así que cualquiera de los dos me serví.
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
That's how you want it? So be it.
La primera vez que vi esto dije, what the fuck.
Move against that wall. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, señoras y señores, bebecitos y bebecitas. La aventura acaba de terminar. Y tenemos platino de JUAREZ GUNSLINGER. Dámelo. Dame ese platino. Dame el platino.
Did you know it was him all along?
Dame el
Cassidy
platino.
told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he
Dame mi
knew about
platino,
Ringo
cerdo.
and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me,
Jack.
Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Graves.
So where are you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk
Dame mi platino.
with those I have lost.
Dame mi platino.
Ooh,
Platino de Carlos Juárez, baby. Dámelo.
won't you spare me over time?
Let's fucking go. Juego completado. Sí. Increíble. Increíble. Todo 3 estrellas. Y justo se cae el directo, es increíble. Es incredible. Decía que, bueno, todos los recuerdos, todas las pepitas de oro, digo. Todo completadito. Voy a arreglar la cámara rapidito y así despido para YouTube. ¿Cuál será el siguiente? Vamos a pensar cuál puede ser nuestro siguiente. O jugar un jueguito, nada más. De chill. Que tengo bastantes para jugar de chill. Y hay algunos que le tengo bastante ganito. Por cierto, mira, volvió a funcionar el... ¿Cómo carajo? No sé. Volvió a funcionar esto, boludo, después de tantos años. Pero no cambia de color, en realidad tiene que cambiar de color. Pero te juro que hace años que esta luz del mouse no prendía, boludo. No, funcionaba perfecto. Pero no sé por qué hace como mucho tiempo que no prendía la luz. Igual nunca le presté atención. En realidad tiene que cambiar de colores, tiene como un montón de colores. No sé si lo puedo cambiar, no me acuerdo cómo era. Pero cambia de colorcito la luz. Este mouse tiene como 8 años debe tener. Bueno, voy a pedir para YouTube. Me tapo. Bueno, gente, ese platillo que los Juárez, bueno, me voy a cambiar esto, ¿no? Total, por ahora nada más. Así, truquiti. Ahora vamos acá. 100%. Así que bueno, espero que los haya gustado. Denle like, suscríbanse. Comenten abajo en la descripción de toda la data de cuándo en dónde estamos en directo. Platinando juegos. Y nada, muchas gracias por todo. Y nos vemos en el siguiente show. Bye bye.